Welcome back to a very fascinating battle. We're looking at a 2 versus 2, and there's a lot happening on a very large map right now. If we go look over here, we have a dwarf player taking on a series of centaurs from a beastman army. And here they come right now. Clan Angron is going to hold strong, I'm hoping. Over here, we have the dwarves who are well organized and moving together right now to handle that centaur threat. They're lightly armored and will not be able to do a lot, I believe. Over here, we have a mainstay of another dwarf army. If we go look at what's happening with all the beastmen players, they're currently fighting with the Empire. That is a little bit heretical, but we'll have to let it pass for now. We've got a good general of the Empire flying on a Pegasus mount, going after a bunch of gyrocopters. Having them go in alone is not a great idea. Though you would think that type of technological marvel would be able to handle one flying guy, or one flying mount. Over here, we have a brave shaman who's way behind their lines. I don't know why he's really that far behind. Let's go check out what's happening over here. Again, a very large map. That beastman player has opted for a very mobile army. Whether or not it'll pan out, I don't really know. I doubt it. There's not a lot of staying power here, though any type of armor piercing might be beneficial later on, just not right now. If they try to charge in right now, they're going to lose everything. Dwarf units are very sturdy, as we saw in the previous battle. He's going in right now. We even have Iron Drakes who are hitting them hard. That Razor Core Chariot is not going to stand for long. You would want to probably wait for the other units to get here, and then after that, you'll want to leave one dwarf army alone. They're not very quick, so whenever you have a very mobile army, what you can do, you can move far away. I would really tell them to move all the way around and to hit back here if need be. They could even kill some slayers if they wanted to, though the anti-large would be a bit of an issue. Let's go look at the Empire army right now. We've got swordsmen. It's a relatively cheap army, which is not good for the Empire. They do have Demogryph Knights, which is not a bad call. Let's go look over here real quick at what they have. Anti-infantry, that's why they're not a bad call. We've got one Cygor. That Cygor could do a lot of damage, but again, it's very far behind. I don't know what it can do. The Hellstone Rocket Battery will not be able to get a lot of kills where it's at right now. Hitting a few units is not a big deal. The Beastman player is really getting torn up. We've got a Beast Lord trying to move through right now. Will that Beast Lord be able to pile through? I don't believe so, man. Right now, the dwarves have a huge advantage, and I am aware that dwarves is a nomenclature utilized for Lord of the Rings, but you get my point. The dwarves here have a much better position. They're in the water, too, which will slow down other enemy units. Here they come right now. They probably could have utilized their handgunners. They would have outranged them. That would have been a better idea as well. They have a Lord and a Runesmith. Very powerful units. We're looking at the Beastman player now clashing in. The Minotaur's moving in. And they're right by Slayers. Their Slayers could easily come in here and destroy everything about these large creatures. They wouldn't get very far. Let's keep on looking right now. The Centaurs are about to move in. I think the Dwarf players are going to have a little bit of an issue trying to multitask. The Reiksguard are also over here. And they're fairly powerful, but these are all anti-large capable units. I don't know how they will do. Right now, we've got all these units clashing. This is actually a really cool fight, I've got to admit. The map is very cool for this type of situation, a 2v2. And here they come, and there's a Cygor. The Cygor is going to get some friendly fire going on if they're not too careful. Oh, that was quite devastating. That really tore them up. I mean, it did hit some of the dwarf units as well. I really wonder how this fight will go. I can't tell you right now. I just feel like the edge right now will definitely be with the dwarf players. There's a Jade Wizard for healing and other such magics. Yeah, over here we got some Earth Blood helping them hold. Oh, these Iron Drakes. How many kills right now? Only one kill so far, but they can really melt down some health and quickly. So far, it looks like they're losing. But if you look at it right now, what is very fascinating is that Beastman player finally reined it in. They're finally moving in. The Slayers are now moving in too, and he's going to lose all of his Centaurs in a little while because of that. But they did a much better job at flanking. As I told you, focusing on one part of that dwarf army would be a much better call, and it seems to have worked out fairly decently for them so far. I definitely want to get some interesting 1v1s though in the future, just because I know some people like them a little bit more because they're a little bit easier to cover and to keep track of what is going on. I don't want to actually go into a cinematic mode too often. If you want me to, you can let me know down below, or let me know down below. Otherwise, I do want to make sure that you can understand what's going on in the battle. Here come Demogryph Knights now. They're getting a charge in. If we hold down space, we can see what's happening right now. In the middle, they have destroyed the enemy formations. They'll have to reform. What they could do is just kind of bring in their handgunners right now to keep on getting kills. If they just kind of use their handgunners a lot, they could probably get a lot of kills. But then again, back here, we've got some Rangers. I didn't notice the Rangers, and the Rangers are destroying them and quickly. Having your artillery hit that wouldn't be a bad idea. If the Centaurs are still alive, like that one cherry could probably do some damage to them, but not enough. Let's keep on looking now. They're still fighting. We've got a Bestigor herd, and they're pretty mighty. They can hold for a little bit of time. The Slayers are now beating everyone back. It's still relatively tit for tat, and Reiksguard is still around. The Centaurs are charging in where they can. The Slayers are so powerful. They just need some type of range attack to actually beat them down. They're unarmored. I mean, they can deflect missiles a little bit, but they'll still fall apart. Here comes some more halberds, 72 of them. We've got miners, and they're cheap, so I mean, they're meant to be expendable. They're going to die here. And that's where they go. We've got more greatswords over here, beating back Longbeards. We've got a Jade Wizard fighting too. We've got greatswords also following in, and greatswords are extremely powerful. They're going to do a lot of damage. The Demogryph Knights are still back here. I wonder when they're going to move back in. Whenever they're ready, they can move back in and do a lot of damage. We've got that... Man, that rocket battery is doing a lot of damage. How many kills now? How many kills are we looking... 131 and 132. That's not too bad, actually. Cygor is also over here. How many kills? Only 12 kills. They've done a lot of damage to him. That's what it looks like. Exhausted and obstructed, so won't even be able to help out too much. There's a Bray Shaman right now. Here comes more units of the Empire moving in. A very tit-for-tat fight. You don't usually get fights like this. It's a really good battle. I mean, when I say it's a really good battle, I just mean it's entertaining, at least to me. It doesn't always mean that like everything has been done in the most optimal way possible. But it looks like the Dwarfs are going to persevere. They just have a lot more staying power. They've been shattered in so many... Oh, hold on. What are you doing? 88 kills. That's actually not too bad for a Beast Lord. 88 kills is a really good amount. That Chariot's still moving through, which is not enough. That rocket battery's done a lot of damage. If they manage to pull through, though, I will be incredibly impressed. I feel like these Slayers are really just going to counter whatever they have. Back here, we have more Reiksguard who are going after some Iron Breakers. We have 70 left, and it's quite a large number. Back here, we have our Minotaurs with shields. Look at that. Some more magic from the Jade Wizard. An AoE spell meant to slow them down, Awakening of the Wood. He's probably low in magic at this point right now. Barely any kills at all. Any type of armor piercing would have been a much better call here for the Empire. I mean, greatswords were a good one. Halberds instead of swordsmen would have been better. The shields are nice for range damage, but again, any type of armor piercing you can get for this type of fight is so vital. He's a general of the Empire flying in. I don't believe he was actually thrown into the battle enough either. Got 22 kills. We're looking over here at Demogryph Knights, 124. They're getting a lot of kills. Let's go back over here now and check out the Minotaurs, 68 kills. They're charging back in. The Runesmith is still going. Only 3 kills, but he's not really meant to get a lot of kills. I can't call the fight yet, though. It's still going. No one has fully collapsed yet. I mean, you have lords who are still alive, so I mean, they'll be staying for a little bit of time until something severe happens, until they just truly shatter from losing too many units. The Bestigors are finally fleeing now. Here's a Runesmith. Wait, are there 2 of them? No, he moved back. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, oh man, 2 of them. That's crazy. That's a little bit weird. I wouldn't do it. The General of the Empire, 32 kills, still alive and fighting. The Jade Wizard still going. Great Swords are 61, but look at that. Melting away a lot. He's probably going to send that over to the... Oh, he's not actually. Never mind. He's going away. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but they are beginning to flee now. The Great Swords couldn't keep up with that. Here comes a Lord, only 17 kills, but he's very sturdy. Reiksguard, 100 kills. We're going to look at the kill count right now. Allied troops, 500. Enemy troops, ooh, a lot. Look at that, plus 30 armor. They just will not break, not with a Runesmith. You're not going to break them that easily. they focused a little bit more. If they were able to take out the enemy ranged attacks, maybe without having to invest fully, I think they would have had a much easier time, but they just did not have the staying power here. They had a lot of utility units, which are great, but the dwarfs were just going to stand still and just kind of do what they had to do. But look at the carnage on the battlefield. It's been a huge and interesting fight. But that was a lot of large. I probably would have opted for more Bestigors rather than Gorbulls. I've got to admit, if you got that many Centaurs, I probably would have just opted for numbers rather than just large creatures at all. I don't even believe the Cygor got a lot of kills. The rocket battery definitely picked up some kills, but just not enough. 210. And what I mean by not enough, it's not enough to change the fate of that battle. The Cygor is dead and just did not do enough for its overall cost. We still have more handgunners. Maybe even more handgunners would have been a good call. I mean, they wouldn't be able to easily move on this map. Not only that, they would have to have come to them eventually. So actually more artillery would have helped here. The dwarves would have been forced to move towards them. With all the maneuverability of the Beastman player, that could have definitely panned out in their favor, especially if one of them moved too quickly for the other player. General of the Empire is just going at random targets right now. The Ray Shaman's fighting, so they're just kind of fighting till the last. Fairly impressed. 148 kills for that. Demogryph Knights over here, Reichsguard. I couldn't see them from that far. They're fighting Slayers, so that's not a great call. The Slayers have a lot of kills over 150. That's way too many. You would want any ranged attacks hitting them. Crossbows would have even potentially been a good idea to take out any type of squishier unit. Look at the handgunners now. I mean, the Rangers are going to beat them, though. They were well protected. The Rangers were the biggest threat to any of the handgunners. I'm actually impressed. The battle's been going on for quite a while. I mean, a lot of it early on, just a lot of movement back and forth, which is understandable. Here's the Beast Lord, 148 for kills, 244 for the Demogryph Knight, who are now trying to move around. Okay, the Jade Wizard is finally dying. Demogryph Knights are now moving back in. We've got a Gorbull over here and a Beast Lord over there who are finally fleeing. So the battle looks like it's finally concluded. We just have a few more units to round. We're going to watch that happen right now. If they can pull on any more kills, I'll be impressed. Reichsguard are now, I confused them for the freaking Reichsguard. The Demogryph Knights are now done, and the battle's now over. That's what I get for, you know, covering a match early in the morning. Haven't had my proper coffee yet. Alright, valiant defeat. We're looking at 842 losses for the Empire player, 565 for the Beastmen player. For the Dwarf player, 884 lost. For the other Dwarf player, who's not Clan Angron, over 1,000 lost. So he took the biggest hit there. Let's go look at what we have real quick for casualties. 85 kills for the General of the Empire. The Jade Wizard was probably not a good synergistic type of unit to utilize. They were going to take a lot of damage no matter what. Increasing melee defense, maybe even armor, would have been a better call. I probably would have opted for cheaper units just to kind of get around them. The Great Swords, of course, are going to do a lot of damage. The Swordsmen are just kind of fodder, but if you look at it, he didn't have a lot of money otherwise to use. He upgraded the freaking, over here, the Demogryph Knights, which was probably not a great call either. Over here, the Beastman player, the Centaurs did not do a lot of damage. They could have been saved for a much later part of the battle and probably would have done a better job. The Bestigors actually did a fair amount of damage. The Beast Lord, again, Chariots are pretty good to it, doing some damage, but they were not utilized in a very effective way. Probably having more staying power with the Empire player would have been able to help out a lot. Go look at Clan Angron over here. A lot of miners, and those are pretty effective at spreading enemy units. The Rangers are very effective at taking out any type of range attacks by the Empire player. Over here, for the main Dwarf faction, the Slayers alone were just able to destroy them. 171, and that took down a lot of large creatures too. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do leave a like down below if you would like to see more battles. Let me know what type of battles you would like to see in the future. And if you would like to send me your replay, I do have instructions on how to do so down below. So check that out. And as always, until then.